in for another day of Pi Week, where we're going to go over Plant 3D. I hope Pi Week has been very interesting and engaging to you so far, and you have learned something about Revit, automation, and PiVDC. Plant 3D is used mainly for industrial piping and process piping, and we're very interested to share our automation, our journey in Plant 3D with you. My name is Naman Patwari. I'm the head of automation at Pinnacle Infotech Solutions. Along with me is Prashant Purohit. He's a project manager for industrial piping and process piping projects that use Plant 3D. Then along with me is also Divyansh. Divyansh is a software engineer with a background of BIM modeling, and he really helps us close the gap between uh, understanding what the Plant 3D users need and what is technically feasible. So, Prashant, before we get into Pipe Plant 3D and everything, what is Plant 3D? What is it used for?
Plant 3D is basically a software platform that is introduced by Autodesk long time ago, and it is basically used for industrial piping and process piping projects, in which you can route draw modeling, route piping, and also create drawings such as isometrics, orthographic drawings that are really very useful in installing these pipes and everything. You can also work on the structural part. You can work on PNIDs, smart PNIDs using the Plant 3D. So it is an overall package which can be used to create such things.
Perfect. So why do people go into Plant 3D? Why is Revit not enough?
uh, Revit, I believe, Revit is morely oriented around the construction projects, which are basically not industrial and process piping. So it is basically built for the industrial and process piping projects where more details are required, and we can create PNIDs and everything in Revit also. We can model pipe in Revit also, but Plant 3D is more detail oriented, and it is a CAD based platform. So we can and then additional thing that Plant 3D offers is a smart PNIDs, and the drawings that are extracted using the Plant 3D are, you know, very much detail oriented. The bomb itself comes in and everything is so perfect in this particular software, so it is basically used for that.
Got it. Got it. And when we think about typical industrial piping and process piping projects, their MEP requirements are a lot more
Yep.
than
Yep.
other commercial buildings, right? So
Yep.
uh, that's where I'm assuming the PNIDs and everything help to really
Yep.
detail out the pipes, right? Like
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yep.
Perfect. So, Divyansh, what is the scope of automation for us in PiVDC in Plant 3D?
As we have initially started the automation in Plant 3D, in AutoCAD Plant 3D with our new automation tools that are in Plant 3D sets. So basically we have a lot of tools regarding the shop drawing and modeling as well. So I think in future we will definitely increase the scope of this in our 2D drawing files as well, in generating the orthographic drawings and uh, also isometric drawings. So
Makes sense.
yeah.
So, Divyansh, why don't we get started and go over a couple Plant 3D plugins, and then kind of yeah, just continue the conversation there.
Okay, yeah, sure. Hi everybody. Hope you all are doing great. Welcome to the another package of our VDC plugins, that is Plant 3D, which consists of a variety of automation tools to revolutionize your AutoCAD Plant 3D workflows. So now here, first we would like to introduce the Plant 3D toolset. So this Plant 3D toolset is comprises of a wide range of automation tools, which are specifically tailored for AutoCAD Plant 3D. So the design of all these tools are specially tailored to ensure the exceptional user experiences when doing modeling, shop drawing, data extraction, quality checking, and also in every operation which we are following in the Plant 3D. So there are numerous significant benefits of utilizing this Plant 3D, and also why one should use Plant 3D. So the Plant 3D minimizes the manual process and it eliminates the time consuming tasks and also offers a seamless experience for modeling and coordination and ensures the smooth and efficient workflows. And it also significantly reduces the chances of manual errors and ensures the greater accuracy and reliability in your projects. It also simplifies the project operations and making them effortless and highly efficient. And it can also help in aesthetic arrangement of text, as it will help in creating the orthographic drawings as well as in the shop drawing, and it will result in visually pleasing and well organized ortho drawings as well, and also facilitates with the extraction of piping and spool data and the weld data from your current drawing file. So overall, it will enables you to seamless analysis and evaluation of that extracted data as well. So moving to the next, this is our first tool from the Plant 3D tool set. So we have various tool set for the AutoCAD Plant 3D, and among them, the first one is this quality check tool. So as its name suggests, that the quality check is designed to enhance both the quality as well as the performance of your project, and it ensures that it meets the highest standards as well as the requirement and operates efficiently. So this quality check tool, particularly this quality check tool, comprises of three different checker tools. The first one is slope checker, another one is insulation checker, and the third one is asset count checker. So let's move to the AutoCAD Plant 3D. So here I can run this quality check tool. So basically this tool runs on our overall drawing file or on each and every element, whatever are present in our current drawing file. So So first of all, it will take some time to process the data of each and every element of your drawing file. And here it comes with the user interface of this insulation checker. So like I have previously mentioned that it has three different checker tools. One is slope checker, another one is insulation checker, and the third one is asset count checker. So this slope checker tool helps to check the slope of each and every pipe whichever present in your drawing file. So here I can run this in overall model. And suppose we have to maintain the 0-degree slope, that we don't want any slope in our pipe. So we can simply add this, run this tool, the quality check tool, and it will show the overall data of our items or elements present in it. And it is very distinguished to between distinguished to very easy to distinguish between the items which match the proper criteria
So,
and which don't. Yes, Naman.
out of curiosity, why is checking the slope so important?
So
Um,
basically, we have to maintain the different kind of slopes while working in our plant design. So we have to these slopes are basically depends on the service and the spec as well as uh, the item of or the material of pipe as well. So that's why we need to maintain the particular kind of slope in our project.
got it. Got it.
So yes,
Prashant,
yes.
Prashant, do you want to give some context around it in the sense like, when do you end up using this plugin and why is this such a big deal in Plant 3D in for Plant 3D?
Quality check tool has proven invaluable in ensuring and the accuracy inside the model, and basically it swiftly identifies correct slopes, insulation, asset counts across all the lines, and eliminating the need for labor-intensive manual checks. By the manual task, we used to check everything in the model, and using this plugin, basically, it saves a lot of our time, and it is more accurate. We can miss something if we are like checking a particular model file, but it doesn't make any mistake. It provides accurate informations, and we can readily ensure that everything is on par as per the quality.
Makes sense, right? And
Yeah.
especially for super industrial, for projects with such high industrial requirements and so many pipes there, slopes become very important, right? And then, as you said, like we can make human errors even while checking,
Yeah.
right? Which is basically like our checking is to catch human errors made during modeling, but we can make errors at that point as well, right? So
Yes,
that's
it
where
is possible. Yeah.
these plugins help a lot, right? And for especially for slopes in Plant 3D, makes sense. Divyansh, please continue.
Yes, so basically it is very easy to distinguish between the items that match the particular criteria or standards and which are not match the criteria. So if you want to review the item that does not match the criteria, then you can simply select that item and it will zoom to that item as well. So it will become very easy for you to select or review that particular item as well. And also we have the feature to extract this overall data into an data sheet or an Excel sheet. So you can also use that data in some other work as well, and also import this data from any external Excel as well. So it will work the same. So basically, it is designed to keep in mind uh, that everyone can use this, and basically import and export of this data is also useful for everybody. And also its design is user friendly, and it consists of a minimum number of user steps as well, and it has very easy procedure. And like we have already come to know that it consists of a diverse range of checker tools as well, so that all are great use in enhancing our quality as well. And it is also, like we I have mentioned previously, that it is very easy to distinguish between the items as well, and also review and select them. So besides this why we should use the quality checker tool. So it can reduce the time taken, as here we can see that the time taken by our quality check tool is much lesser than the manual work, and also the chances of manual errors are eliminated using this tool. As if we have very complex drawing file, then there must be chances of some unintentional ignorance of items, which leads to a poor quality as well as poor productivity. However, with our tools, you can avoid that and also achieve much greater quality as well as productivity. So here, if we go with the manual checking of the slope or any kind of quality checking time, then it will take approximately 60 minutes to check a drawing file. And with the help of this quality check tool, it will done only in 10 minutes. So it is a great time saver tool as well.
Well,
So
so, Divyansh, why
yes.
don't you go over the other two QC plugins that you have as well, like the asset count checker and the installation checker as well?
Okay, so basically this asset count checker helps to means there are certain criteria or quality standard which the production members has to follow while creating this pipe design, that they must use only two type of fitting in a particular line number tag or in anything. So for that kind of checking, this asset count checker tool helps a lot. And with that we have the insulation checker tool. So basically this insulation, sorry, so I'm running this tool again here.
And while Divyansh is talking about the
Yes.
Prashant, do you want to add anything about asset count checker, and especially like what are some different real life contexts that end up that you have seen yourself using asset count checker?
Yeah, Naman. Actually, in one of our projects, which was related to tool installs, there were a lot of you know restrictions for particular lines or particular services that we cannot provide like two or more elbows in a single line or in a single run of a particular service. So in that part, we used to check everything using this particular plugin, and it used to give us better results. And it was a one go process. It will directly give you all the counts. You don't have to think about it twice. So it was a time saving process, and effort was minimized in our team.
Ishan, sorry, Divyansh, please go ahead.
Yes, so basically this insulation checker tool, we have one more checker tool in our quality check, that is insulation checker. So this tool helps to check the insulation thickness on every pipe. So as we have in our plant design, that we have different kind of insulation thickness or different kind of items based on their services or the pipe spec as well as the size of pipe. So we have this different kind of insulation thickness on or all these pipe items. So we can easily check the insulation as well using this insulation checker tool. So here also we have the option of custom selection. So you can easily select the kind of service which, and then the spec of pipe and also the size. So basically here, if we don't need any insulation over the pipe having 1 by 4th inch of diameter and in KET spec or any service. So we have to simply enter the thickness here and the type of insulation, whatever we want. So and add the data. So it will directly uh, check all each and every element available in this particular spec and show us the result that yes, we don't have any insulation over this. So it will become very easy the for you to check these insulation thickness as well.
Right.
And
And then go ahead.
yes, yes, Naman, please continue.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming it eventually helps you with better quantity takeoffs as well, that you can, and
Yes.
you can send a report to a client, right? Like we all love opening files, but nothing like a good Excel or a good report telling us exactly what we need. Um,
So
yep.
yes,
Um,
basically this
go
tool
ahead.
is also have one more feature that we can easily export the data. So basically the workflows in our workflows, basically the manager can do the quality check things and the another members can update it. So anyone can easily export the this particular data into an Excel sheet, and the other person can import this data and use all our features. Like they can also select the same element from that particular drawing file to review that, and also so it can basically help both, means all type of users or production members as well,
Right.
or
And then I'm
engineers.
assuming,
Yes.
Prashant, this helps you kind of do work in parallel, right? Like you can better utilize by your team by having distinct roles and people switching from modeling to testing and doing QC.
Yeah, definitely. Someone who is not much aware about the project, he can be utilized for the QC process using these plugins. It is
Makes sense.
definitely easier for him.
Makes
Uh,
sense. Yeah, and this is one benefit of PiVDC that, again, I keep bringing up throughout this entire week is all of our plugins are being used internally by our production team, people like Prashant, right? So they give us really, really nice feedback on how these tools should evolve, what features should work on, how should they be adaptable to different workflows. And I feel very lucky to work in this R&D team because my users are sitting 2 feet away from me. So we feel that we strongly believe that if our internal teams are using some plugins that we have created, any BIM engineer in the world would be happy with the plugins in some way or the other. So yeah, Divyash, why don't we move on to another plugin?
Yes. So moving to the next plugin from our pipeline 3D toolset, that is that is Pi Asset Browser. So this asset browser tool greatly simplifies the process of filtering and selecting the elements of from your current Plant 3D drawing file based on their specific property values. And it also provides a very user friendly interface, and it allows you for
So
efficient navigation.
uh, sorry, Divya. I'm really
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. Before we get into asset browser, Prashant, like assets in Plant 3D the same as RFA and ITM files in Revit? Like, how are assets handled in Plant 3D?
each asset or each element in the plant 3D has its own unique properties in the plant 3D, and vastly it is all always stated in the the properties palette itself, whether being it the layer of the element, being it the service spec and manufacturers, and everything is listed in the properties. Asset browser is also useful to us because like in AutoCAD platform we have something like quick select, but it is not much more efficient. But using asset browser it was way more fluent to use the properties of such elements, and to organize and to select these as assets and change these assets in one go. So it was really very helpful.
Got it. Perfect. Divyash, please continue. Sorry for interrupting.
Yes. So it allows you for the efficient navigation as well as selection of the elements, and helps in enhancing the overall productivity as well as precision. So let's see the working of this Pi Asset Browser tool in our Plant 3D session. So it just takes some time as it is checking the file type, that whether the project is in SQLite or in the SQL Server. And after that, we have an option to choose the element selection criteria. So I can run this tool on our overall file, and it will take some time to process. While processing, as Prashant mentioned about the quick filter or the quick select tool, which is provided by the AutoCAD Plant 3D. So in that quick select, you can only create a single level of filtration. But using this PyAsset browser, you can easily create the multiple level filtration as well. So it shows the property values of each and every item present in your current drawing file. And if you want to select or review any item, then you have to simply click on the item, and it will select it and also zoom into that particular item. And it is very easy to group the data as well, or do the level wise filtration as well, like I have mentioned earlier. So I'm grouping the overall data as per the line number text. So in this current drawing file, we have these many of line number tags. And if you want to select any particular line number tag, then you just have to simply click on that, and it will select the uh, overall line number as well. And also you can further filter this data based on the types. So in that particular line number also, if you want to select any coupling or pipe band or anything to change any property or the type of asset, so you can easily do this with the help of our pi asset browser tool. And also we have more properties in here. So based on the nominal diameter, if you want to filter, so basically this can help you in filtering the data and also manage your overall drawing file data in easily.
Right. And again, this can be invaluable to the QC process as well, right? Like that Prashant was describing just a little bit ago.
Yes, and also it will help you to directly check whether any of your item remains unassigned or not. Because in a very complex drawing, it is very hard to check each and every item to check whether it is unassigned with any line number tag or not. So you can easily do that using our tool as well. So it will check and tells you about that whether it is unassigned or not. So yes, it can also help you in maintaining the quality of your overall drawing file as well.
Yeah, and speaking of complex files, I'm pretty sure Prashant would have
Yes.
thousands of examples where, because I know he works on multiple semiconductors and just semiconductors, chip manufacturing. I know a bunch of different kind of industries now are using Plant 3D. So Prashant, do you have any, just any example where like this plugin really saved you time or like helped you meet a deliverable that was just not possible without this plugin?
The most important work it does for us was for the, like Divyansh mentioned, for some element who's like lost its property or is not linked to the database of the plant 3D. So it is really very hard for us to locate that particular element in a big file which has thousands of elements inside it. So using the asset browser, it was really very easier for us to locate the element and to go on that exact location and replace that particular part. It was really very easier for us. And this was such a time saver that we could do our submissions on time basically to client, and it helped a lot. Yeah.
Makes sense, right? And we're talking in Plant 3 projects, you have to publish hundreds of orthos and ISOs every single day, right? Like for
Yeah.
projects like that. So multiple people working, hundreds of assets being added and modified every single day.
Yep.
And having that, that strict control over QC becomes very, very important because
Yes.
prefabrication there's a lot of prefab happening,
Yep.
especially for process piping.
And for projects which like going on parallel in they're installing and fabricating everything on parallel with the BIM, then it is really very hard for us to make mistakes. We cannot make mistakes at such times. So
Right.
it was really very helpful to have such plugin with us.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. And that is what I love about like, the construction industry that hey, we might be working on a computer, but the output is something physical that people touch and it affects them every single day, right? And any errors made during our time can be so costly from the client's perspective.
Yeah, one of our client quoted like, everything will stop, Prashant, construction won't. So just you need to deliver everything. So at the end of the time, it is about delivering everything on time so that everything can be fabricated and installed on the site.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, we're in a good industry. Um, Divash, please continue. We could probably move on to the next plugin, unless you have
So
something else to share about asset browsing.
yes, so it also offers a range of valuable features. Some of them which we already discussed, that its design is user friendly and also requires a minimum number of user steps. And also the identification of items having unassigned line number text can be done very effortlessly and easily. And it also is the process of grouping or filtering the data level wise, and also easy to select and review the element that conforms to the applied filter in our current drawing file to review them. And also the resetting of that data and also refreshing is also very easy. So if you make any changes in your current drawing file, that it is very easy to refresh the data in your asset browser tool as well. So moving to the next slide, here is why one should use the Pi asset browser. So as we have seen the working of this asset browser tool, and it is of great benefit while working and also help in increasing the productivity. And here also this graph depicts that there is a great difference in time consumption between the manual task and the tool, as the manual task can take around 5 minutes of time, but it can be easily done using the Pi asset browser in 30 seconds only. So yes, it is a great time saver tool as well.
Makes sense. And I really like the point that Prashant brought up earlier, is that even if you have new people joining a project or someone joining just from a QC perspective, having these plugins, we can give them a very defined scope. And then, hey, just do this part, right? And then Asset Browser can help them be at ease, right? Okay, I don't have to work on this entire big model, not get overwhelmed, just look at a small piece, and Asset Browser can help you navigate, we look at the pieces in that, navigate to there and everything. Makes sense.
So So our next tool from our Pipeline 3D package toolset is the Align Pipe. So this tool provides a seamless experience for modeling and coordinating pipes and simplifies the process, as this tool facilitates the alignment of both sloped as well as non-sloped pipes and tubes. As we all know that in AutoCAD Plant 3D there is no such feature to align the pipe or tubes, so we have to depend on the conventional method. So
And
first
the
we'll
conventional method is
yes.
dragging and dropping.
Yes, so basically the conventional method is in Plant 3D. Uh, if anyone wants to align, then they have to first create these lines and then find the intersection or the distance between them, and then they have to move this pipe to this much of distance. So it requires a lot of manual work in creating these lines and everything. So basically in Plant 3D we don't have any default feature for aligning these two. So at that point, this align pipe tool helps a lot. So basically to align any pipe, we have to just select the base pipe and the reference pipe. So it will automatically aligns the pipe very easily. So it is also a very time saver tool as well, and
That
also reduces
that
the
one
chances of errors. Yes. Yes,
that
Naman.
that almost seemed like magic to me. And I'm assuming, and good technology should be indistinguishable from magic at the end of the day. Um, so, Prashant, any anecdotes or anything to share about this particular plugin?
Yeah, like Divyansh told us, we need to do the conventional method, which is of using lines to, move the pipes to exact distance. And it is maybe sometimes it can be, not worthful, because if we have selected wrong points, then we can like move on to the wrong distance actually. And other thing was to stretch the pipe to a particular location. So that was also a very hectic process, which can create errors while working. And it was really a time saver for us in the modeling part, because using the align pipe plugin, we can definitely like make our modeling process a lot quicker, because it works similar to the other softwares that are on this platform. And Plant 3D and the AutoCAD software doesn't offer that utility to us. So using this plugin, we it made a difference for us in the project.
Makes sense to me. Divyansh, from what I remember, like before you joined the R&D team, these plugins didn't exist in in a Plant 3D package, right?
Yes,
So,
none of these tools exist in our pipeline 3D toolset.
right, you
So
were the pioneer basically that kind of made this possible. So, like,
yes.
like what was that experience like working in Plant 3D without any plugins, especially from an aligned pipe perspective? Did you see yourself like? Do you see yourself using this in production as well as if you were still in production?
Yeah, so basically, when I was in production, I also worked on the modeling part as well, and I saw various other software like Revit has provided this feature to align the elements, but in Plant 3D we don't have any feature. So, like I have mentioned, that we have to follow the conventional method by creating those lines and everything. So it was very hectic for me as well. So when I joined the R&D, this is my means first tool which I have to create for the for the users to ease their process in aligning these tubes and pipes.
Makes sense, right? Because as
Yes,
Prashant said, like if conventional method takes time, and if you align the wrong two pipes, it becomes really hard, right? Because then you have to reset it and then like do the whole thing again. This allows you to kind of be a little bit more flexible with how you're modeling.
Yeah,
yes,
and for the fun fact, it is the most used plugin in our Plant 3D team, as far as I know, because everybody uses it for the modeling part at least.
yes.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, it's like magic, right? So, Divansh, please continue.
Yes, so moving to the next tool of our pipeline 3D toolset, that is this fitting substitutor. So this tool also enables the swapping of multiple fittings of same type in Plant 3D, as by default there is again no such feature by which we can substitute multiple fittings at a time. So we have to swap each and every fitting individually using the substitute grip, which again requires a lot of manual work. So first we will look into the working of this tool in our Plant 3D session. So what is the meaning of substitute a fitting is that if I want to swap or substitute this particular fitting, then I have to go and use this substitute grip. But the Plant 3D does not provide the feature to substitute all the T of the same type in Plant 3D at a time. So anyone has to follow the same process for each and every item, which is again a very tedious task and requires a lot of work. So to resolve that big problem, we have this fitting substitutor tool. So this tool also work on the selected items as well as the overall drawing file as well. So
Right. And again, like this can reduce our scope of human error and everything, right? Prashant, do you have any practical examples where this has really saved you a lot of time?
Yeah. So in one of our project, the contractor changed the fittings inside our project midway, and we need to change all the fittings inside our model. So at that particular time, we requested R&D that we need to develop some kind of plugin so that we can change all the fittings inside that project in one go, in like with just a snap of my finger. So they developed this plugin, and it was really very helpful. Otherwise, we had to change every single fitting at every single location, and maybe we could have missed one or two, and it could have created a lot of errors inside a big file. So yeah, it was a time saver for us.
Makes sense to me. And then you can always use asset browser after this plugin has run to kind of verify if the assets have been updated according makes sense. Yeah, Divyash,
Yes.
please go ahead. You were going over the UI. Sorry for interrupting.
yes, so this fitting substitutor tool work on the individual item as well as on the overall drawing file as well. So here I can run this tool on the overall drawing file and change this particular kind of T uh, in our current project, in our sorry current drawing file. So for that, first we have to select this T and the spec of this T and the asset type, which is currently it follows or whatever type. Sorry. So we have to first select this asset type, and from here we have the same option which we can find in our substitute grip as well. So here I can choose this female T and click on the result button. So it will take some time and substitute each and every t of whichever follow this particular criteria in our drawing file, and also select them uh, to check them after after substitution as well, that whether these t changes or not. So in this way, this tool helps to substitute multiple fittings or multiple type of asset same at the same time, and also
Makes
it
sense.
minimize. Yes,
No, go ahead. Sorry.
yes. So basically, if we compare this with our manual work, then it can take very much or very less amount of time in substituting all the fittings from a current drawing file. And as Prashant mentioned, that it can also help. It can also help in our quality checking as well, as at last it can select and highlight all those items whichever it changes. So
Makes sense, right? And again, it helps us deliver projects on time, because I'm assuming, like, especially during the lockdown era, it was pretty common for people to swap out different fittings just based on availability, because construction never stopped during the lockdown time, right? Like, it was still
yes.
going with full force. Makes sense. Perfect. Yeah, Divash, please go ahead.
Yes, so moving to our next tool from the Pi Plant 3D package. So this is our align tag tool, which is basically help in the aesthetic arrangement of tags in our orthographic drawing files, as it helps to align and arrange all the ortho tags at equal vertical spacing and at the same alignment as well. So first we will look into the working of this tool in our Plant 3D session. So here I am just opening one of the orthographic drawing file. So here in this ortho drawing, we have to give or annotate the item with an ortho tag, and after that we have to arrange, because like here we have very clumsy or very uh, un unesthetic drawing or whatever we can say. So so to
Basically, a file that client will not accept.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
So,
and it can also create by default taggings inside our drawing which will not be aesthetically arranged. So
Mhm.
yeah.
yes, so basically this align tag tool helps to arrange all these tags at equal vertical spacing as well, and at the same alignment. So this comes in our annotation panel. So from here we have to just select the alignment type or alignment setting, and if you want to arrange these tags at equal vertical spacing between two tags, then you have to just simply put the distance and click on process button. So select one reference tag and select all the other tags, and it will arrange all these tags as per the reference tag.
Right, and again, like, this plugin is very helpful from a from a spooling perspective and annotation perspective, right? Like, this is at the end of the day a very important deliverable that is sent to clients. Prashant, do you want to talk a little bit about the importance of correct annotations and how this plugin has saved time for you and your team?
Yeah, in a particular ortho drawing, there can be hundreds of tags that may be by default coming, or maybe we have to provide all the tags. And to provide that drawing to the client, we need to arrange everything aesthetically. So it was necessary for us to do that via some kind of plugin or some kind of a tool. And so our R&D team has developed one, and it is really very helpful for us. It arrange everything aesthetically according to the what we can say, the prime tag, and it will also check for the distance. It will also check for the gaps in between the tags, such as this, like you can see on your screen. So if I show you some kind of example, then there is a humongous difference between the drawing that is by default created, or we have arranged after we have arranged all the tags. It made a huge difference to us.
It makes sense, right? Because again, at the end of the day, we're looking at very sample data here, right? Like, just to kind of show the plugin, but in real life situation, this is way more complicated, right? Each each drawing has a lot of complexity, And that is when like something like this comes in real use, right? Like for simple projects, not as much as yeah, complex and big projects.
And it should be like it should provide some kind of insight. The data should provide some kind of insight, and it should be presentable if you are sending these files to client, so that he can easily understand everything from the drawing itself. He need not to see the model and everything.
Makes sense, right? Because we want to give a very seamless and easy experience to our clients, and having to open up Plant 3D every day just to verify some data seems like a big miss from from the processes end, to be honest. Um,
Yes.
do you have any anecdotes to share while developing this while developing this plugin, or any anecdotes from your production days when you used to do annotations in Plant 3D?
Okay, so I also worked on this orthographic drawing creation. So we have to arrange these tags to basically provide the client the aesthetic arrangement after arranging these tags.
It saved a lot of like
Yes.
our CAD updation work basically. If we
Right.
were taking 30 minutes to CAD update any single orthographic drawing, then now we are taking only 5 to 10 minutes. So it made a difference there.
Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. Perfect. Divyansh, I think that was the last plugin that we were going to go over
Uh,
today.
yes.
Perfect. Um, Prashant, just out of curiosity, do you think we have missed talking about any plugin that you thought we should talk about, or like your favorite plugin among the Plant 3D package?
They are all my favorites actually. They are saving me from past 1 or 2 years. So I'm very thankful for our R&D team about that. Uh, the one plugin that was not mentioned in this particular session was like automatic weld placement plugin. Uh, Let me check for the exact name of it first.
Automatic weld ops. That
Yeah,
plugin.
automatic
Yes.
weld ops. So it was really a time saver. And one of the client actually asked us if we could provide weld ops or weld spheres at each location of the welds, being it a shop weld, being it a field weld, anything. So he asked us if we could provide that. And we asked our R&D team, and they developed this add-in, and it was a wonderful hit. Uh, Before that, we used to do manual task and provide weld ops at each location for the field weld, shop welds. And now using that particular plugin, we are providing in a single click at every field weld and at every shop weld. And we can also adjust the properties of that particular weld sphere, being it a color, being it size of that. So it is really very helpful. And again, it can be used in other projects as well, because when you are viewing anything in the Navis work platform, then you cannot see the welds directly because they are inside the pipe, or they are the connection points. So if you want to see where my field welds are, where my shop welds are, where my coax welds are, if there are any, then this method is really, really helpful to provide this weld of and weld spheres over them. And we can also remove them in a single click also. If our work is done, if we don't want them, then in a single click, we can remove all the weld spheres at once. So it was really, really very great. And uh, it helped a lot in that particular project, and it will help us in the upcoming projects or in the projects that are going on.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And thank you for your kind words, Prashant. Like, it's people like Divyansh who really care about the production Plant 3D team, ensuring that they have the best time. And, Divyansh works really hard to ensure, your requests, your team's requests are met. And again, this is the beauty of just the way our working is set up, right? Like, we prioritize, like, the R&D team prioritizes project delivery for productions and making sure that they are unblocked. They're working on new evolving project requirements in the most efficient way possible. And then it's always best when we can come up with a plugin that can not only help the current project but can also grow into a generic plugin that we can use across projects. Yep. Um, Divyansh, anything that you'd like to talk about Plant 3D, Plant 3D that we might have missed during this presentation, or like your favorite plugin?
Yeah, so basically, beside these, means each and every plugin is favorite of me because I have just created them.
It's like your baby.
Yes.
So besides them, we have so many other tools as well, like pipe to line converter. So basically, Plant 3D provides us the feature to convert any line into a pipe, and we have easily reciprocate that process as well. That the user can easily convert their overall model into a line diagram with one click. So that tool also, and as along with this align tag tool, we also have to create the leaders or the multi-line segment leaders in our drawing
Mm,
file to aesthetically arrange the text. So for that also it requires a lot of manual work that we are not able to create them along with the ortho tag. So for that also we have add in that is auto leader. So
makes sense. And a lot of these
yes,
plugins are also inspired from our Revit plugins as well, right? Like we know what some features Revit has that Plant 3D lacks, and
yes.
this allows us to kind of level the playing field, at least from those feature perspective. All right. Uh, I think this was great. I think we covered a lot of different plugins that Plant 3D have. Obviously, we don't have enough time to go over every single plugin, and that is where I invite our listeners to to reach out to us and use the Plant 3D trial process. We offer really generous long trials, and even a pricing mechanism is very practical. So please reach out to us, schedule demos, use Plant 3D for yourself and see how it can help you with your project requirements. And then obviously if you need more help with Plant 3D, like actually working on projects and doing your author drawing creations and shop drawing creations, please reach out to Pinnacle. Prashant would be more than happy to help you with your project requirements. Um, with that, thank you once again for tuning into today's presentation for Pi Week. We went over Pi Plant 3D today, and we'll be going over a couple more packages throughout the rest of this week. Thank you for your time and attention, and we look forward to serving you and your Plant 3D needs. And thank you, Divyansh, for putting together this presentation and putting together this package as well at the end of the day. And Prashant, thank you so much for being a part of this particular webinar and also just using the plugins and giving us feedback, right? Because without you and your team's insight and requirements, Plant 3D would not have been where it is right now.
I'm humbled. Thanks so much, Naman, for kind words.
Thank you so
Perfect.
much, Naman and Prashant, and everyone who has joined our webinar as well. So please try our pipeline 3D toolset as well. So
Perfect. Okay. Thank
thank
you
you
so
very
much,
much.
everyone. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks so
Bye.
much, everyone.